Picture this. You're standing under a giant tent surrounded by laughter and music. The smell of roasted sausages and warm pretzels fills the air. All around you, people in lederhosen and dirndls raise tall steins of golden beer, singing and swaying to the beat of the band. You lift your own frothy mug, take a sip, and taste pure magic. Crisp, smooth, and brimming with malty richness. But have you ever wondered how that perfect German beer makes its way into your glass? From golden barley fields to roaring brew kettles, and from ancient traditions to modern precision, join me as we step inside the world of German brewing and uncover the secrets behind the beer that fuels the world's biggest party. Prost, let's get brewing. Step 1. The malting. Let's start at the very beginning, with barley fields waving under the German sun. German brewers choose high-quality barley, usually two-row varieties prized for clean flavors and lots of starch, crucial for making great beer. Once harvested, barley heads to the malt house, where it goes through malting, the process that turns raw grain into malt, the soul of beer. First comes steeping. The barley soaks in cool water for 2 to 3 days, absorbing moisture and waking up from dormancy. Oxygen is bubbled through the tanks to keep the grains healthy and prevent spoilage. Next is germination. The wet barley is spread in shallow beds or rotating drums and left to sprout tiny roots and shoots. Inside each kernel, enzymes begin converting starches into simpler sugars that yeast will eventually turn into alcohol and bubbles. Once enough enzymes have formed, it's time for kilning. The green malt is dried in hot air, halting growth and locking in flavor. Here's the magic. Light kilning creates pale malt for crisp beers like German Pilsners. Darker roasting produces rich, bready malt for styles like Dunkel or Bock. So every shade and flavor of beer traces back to how the malt was kilned. After kilning, the malt is cleaned, sorted, and stored in silos, ready for the brewery. Detailed lab tests ensure each batch meets the high standards demanded by Germany's brewing traditions, where only malt, water, hops, and yeast are allowed under the famous Reinheitsgebot purity law. And that's how humble barley becomes the flavorful backbone of German beer. But before we continue, I'd like to hear, what's your favorite kind of beer? Do you like the light taste of the Helles, or do you prefer the malty taste of a dark beer? Let me know in the comments. Step 2. The mashing. Now that we have beautiful malt, it's time to unlock its potential. Welcome to the brew house, the beating heart of any German brewery. First, the malt is crushed in a mill, breaking it into coarse grist. The goal is to crack open the grain so water can reach the starch inside, but not grind it into flour. Think coarse oatmeal, not powder. Next, the grist is mixed with hot water in a giant vessel called the mash tun. This step is called mashing, and it's where science and tradition blend beautifully. As the malt steeps in water, natural enzymes from the malt get to work, breaking starches into sugars. These sugars will later feed the yeast to produce alcohol and CO2. Here's where German precision shines. Many traditional German brewers use a step mash or decoction mash, gently raising the temperature through a series of rests. Each temperature stage activates specific enzymes around 50 to 55 degrees Celsius. Protein rests break down proteins, helping clarity and foam stability in the final beer. Around 62 to 65 degrees Celsius, beta-amylase enzymes create maltose, producing a lighter, drier beer. Around 70 degrees Celsius, alpha-amylase enzymes generate more complex sugars, contributing body and sweetness. In decoction mashing, a classic German technique, brewers remove part of the mash, boil it separately, then mix it back in. This boosts flavors, deepens color, and makes malt character shine, perfect for rich lagers like Bock's. After mashing, the result is a sweet, porridge-like mixture called mash. This liquid is loaded with sugars, color, and malt flavors, ready for the next step in our brewing adventure. And that's mashing, the flavorful transformation from grain to sweet wort, laying the groundwork for delicious German beer. Step 3. Lautering. Next, we move from the mash tun to a critical stage, lautering. After mashing, we've got a thick, porridge-like mixture of grains and sweet liquid called the mash. We need to separate the sugary liquid, called wort, from the spent grain husks. That's where the lauter tun comes in. Imagine a giant stainless steel vat with a false bottom, like a strainer. The mash is gently transferred into the lauter tun and allowed to settle, forming a natural filter bed from the grain husks themselves. Brewers carefully begin to drain the wort. At first, the liquid runs cloudy, so it's recirculated back over the grain bed until it runs clear. This process, called Vorlauf, helps clarify the wort and improves beer quality down the line. But we don't want to leave any precious sugars behind. So after the initial wort is drained, brewers start sparging. a gentle shower of hot water sprinkled over the grain bed. This rinses out remaining sugars, ensuring we extract every bit of malt sweetness. Sparging must be done with precision. Too hot, and we risk extracting bitter tannins from the husks. Too fast, and the grain bed can compact, causing a stuck mash. Every brewer's nightmare. In German brewing, where efficiency and clarity are prized, lautering is done with meticulous care. The wort is collected in a vessel called the wort kettle, ready for the next stage, the boil. Meanwhile, the spent grains, now called spent malt, don't go to waste. Many German breweries partner with local farmers who collect the spent grains as nutritious cattle feed. Sustainability in action. And that's lautering, the careful art of transforming our sweet mash into crystal clear wort, setting the stage for hops and boiling magic. Step 4, the boil and hops. All right, beer lovers, now it's time for one of the most exciting steps in brewing, the boil. Our clear, sweet wort has been collected in the brew kettle, a massive gleaming vessel, sometimes as tall as a house. It's time to crank up the heat. The wort is brought to a rolling boil, usually lasting between 60 and 90 minutes. This is where science and artistry collide. First, boiling sterilizes the wort, killing any unwanted bacteria or wild yeast. It also helps proteins coagulate and fall out of solution, contributing to a clearer beer later. But the real stars of the show here are the hops. In Germany, hops are legendary. Brewers often use noble hop varieties like Hallertau, Tettnang, Spalt, or Hersbrucker, prized for delicate aromas and refined bitterness. During the boil, hops are added at specific times. Early in the boil, hops contribute bitterness to balance the sweetness from the malt. Later additions add aroma and flavor. Think floral, spicy, herbal, or earthy notes. The timing is crucial. Longer boiling extracts more bitterness, while shorter times preserve those delicate essential oils that give German beers their signature aromas. Different German styles call for different hopping approaches. A crisp Pilsner might feature a firm bitterness and a zesty hop aroma. A Märzen or Bock leans more on malt richness with subtle hop balance. Another important task during the boil is evaporating unwanted compounds like dimethyl sulfide DMS, which can give beer a cooked corn taste if not removed. Definitely not something you want in a clean German lager. By the end of the boil, our wort is transformed, richer in color, infused with hops, and bursting with potential. And that's the boil, where the sweet wort takes on bitterness, aroma, and complexity, inching closer to becoming true German beer. Step 5, cooling the wort. After boiling, our wort is scorching hot and needs to chill fast. Why? Because yeast can't survive high temperatures, and we want to preserve all those delicate hop aromas. Modern German breweries use plate heat exchangers, clever machines where hot wort flows past cold water in thin channels, cooling it from boiling to around 8 to 12 degrees Celsius in minutes for lagers. Fast cooling prevents bacteria from sneaking in and helps form cold break, clumps of proteins that drop out, ensuring clearer beer. Plus, the warmed cooling water isn't wasted. Breweries reuse it for cleaning or preheating the next batch, saving energy. Now our wort is perfectly cool and ready for fermentation, the step where beer truly comes to life. Step 6, fermentation. Time for the magic act, fermentation. Our chilled wort flows into giant fermentation tanks where brewers add yeast. German brewers take yeast seriously, choosing strains that produce clean, crisp flavors perfect for lagers. Over days or weeks, yeast feasts on the sugars from the malt, turning them into alcohol and bubbles of CO2. Different styles use different temperatures. Lagers ferment cool and slow for clean flavors, while ales go a bit warmer. Fermentation also creates subtle flavors, from fruity notes to spicy hints, adding character to each beer style. By the end, we've transformed sweet wort into young beer, brimming with potential. Step 7, lagering. German beer owes its name, lager, to this next step, lagering. After fermentation, the young beer rests in cold storage tanks for weeks or even months, often near freezing. This time allows flavors to mellow, harsh notes to fade, and the beer to become crystal clear. Lagering also helps natural carbonation develop, giving that beautiful, crisp fizz. German brewers are patient. They know this extra time is key to achieving the smooth, clean taste that defines their beers. Once lagering is complete, the beer is ready for filtering and packaging, one step closer to your glass. Step 8, filtration and packaging. At last, we're in the home stretch. After lagering, the beer is nearly ready, but may still hold tiny yeast cells or haze. So many German brewers filter it, running it through fine materials that catch any leftover particles. This ensures the beer pours brilliantly clear, a hallmark of many German styles. Some traditional beers, like certain Hefeweizens, skip filtration to keep that signature cloudiness and yeasty character. It all depends on the style. Next comes packaging. The beer flows into bottles, cans, or kegs using precise machines that fill each vessel under pressure to keep carbonation fresh and lively. Oxygen is kept out to protect the beer's flavor and aroma. Labels are applied, caps sealed, and the beer is ready for the world. Thanks to German craftsmanship, what started as humble barley and hops has become crisp pilsners, rich bocks, or smooth helles, ready for you to enjoy. And that's the journey from grain to glass. Prost to the art of German brewing. Thanks for watching. If you like our food discovery tours, please support us and like, subscribe, and share our videos with your friends. We are looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Every great barbecue sauce starts with its base ingredients, and for most recipes, that means tomatoes. In the early morning, farmers head out to harvest perfectly ripe, juicy tomatoes. These little red gems are grown in regions with the perfect combination of sunlight and soil, like California or Italy. Tomatoes destined for barbecue sauce are typically paste varieties, like Roma tomatoes, because of their rich flavor and low water content. After they're picked, the tomatoes are quickly loaded onto trucks and rushed to the processing plant. But tomatoes are just the beginning. A great barbecue sauce needs more than a dozen ingredients to hit that perfect balance of sweet, tangy, smoky, and spicy. Factories carefully source everything: molasses for that deep sweetness, vinegar for tang, spices like paprika and cayenne for heat, and even liquid smoke for that signature barbecue flavor. When the tomatoes and other ingredients arrive at the factory, it's time for the magic to happen. The first step? Quality control. Every batch of tomatoes is checked for ripeness, color, and even aroma. The same goes for spices, vinegar, and sweeteners. Everything is inspected and approved before it moves further down the line. The first stop for our tomatoes is the washing station. Jets of water blast away any dirt or debris, leaving the tomatoes squeaky clean. Next, they're sent into a dicer, where they're chopped into tiny pieces. These diced tomatoes are then pureed into a thick, smooth paste. This is done using industrial blenders that can handle thousands of pounds of tomatoes at once. And if you're wondering what happens to the seeds and skins, those are separated out during the process and often repurposed for compost or animal feed. Now comes the heart of the process: cooking the sauce. The tomato puree is pumped into gigantic kettles, each capable of holding hundreds of gallons. Each ingredient is carefully measured and added to the mix. Molasses gives the sauce its sweetness, vinegar adds a sharp tang, and a blend of spices creates that smoky, zesty kick we all love. Liquid smoke is also added here. Just a small amount goes a long way in delivering that classic barbecue flavor. Once everything is in, the kettles are heated, and the sauce is cooked low and slow. Before the sauce moves on to bottling, it undergoes rigorous testing. Technicians in the lab check the sauce for flavor, texture, and even color. The goal is to make sure every batch tastes exactly the same, whether it's a bottle you buy today or one you grab a year from now. They'll even test for viscosity. That's a fancy word for how thick or runny the sauce is. Too thick, and it won't pour out of the bottle. Too thin, and it won't cling to your ribs. Once the sauce gets the thumbs up from the quality control team, it's time to bottle it up. The sauce is pumped into the bottles at just the right temperature to prevent bacteria growth while preserving the flavor. Next, the bottles are capped, sealed, and labeled. Each label is applied with precision so every bottle looks as good as the sauce inside tastes. The finished bottles are packed into boxes, which are then loaded onto pallets. From here, they're shipped to grocery stores, restaurants, and barbecue joints around the world. And that's how barbecue sauce goes from fresh tomatoes in the field to a delicious bottle in your kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this saucy journey as much as I did. If you loved this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments. What's your favorite way to use barbecue sauce? Until next time at Factory Review, happy grilling!
These golden, crispy nuggets have become a staple for fast food lovers worldwide. But have you ever wondered how they go from farm to fryer and into your hands? This is how McDonald's chicken nuggets are made. The story of McDonald's chicken nuggets began in the late 1970s, when the fast food giant wanted to offer more than just burgers and fries. McDonald's needed something new that would appeal to everyone, especially families and kids. Chef René Arend, a culinary expert from Luxembourg who joined McDonald's in 1976, was tasked with creating a game-changing menu item. In 1983, his creation, Chicken McNuggets, hit the menu and became an instant sensation, often selling out within hours. Over time, McNuggets have evolved to meet customer demands. Originally made with mechanically separated chicken, they switched to 100% white meat chicken in the early 2000s. Now made without artificial preservatives, flavors, or colors, McNuggets continue to be a favorite for millions. The journey of a Chicken McNugget starts on the farm, where McDonald's selects chickens that meet strict quality standards. These chickens come from suppliers like Tyson Foods, one of the largest poultry producers. All the chicken meat used is inspected by the USDA to ensure it meets high health and quality standards. These chickens are raised in controlled environments to keep them healthy, which is important for the quality of the nuggets. When the chickens are fully grown, they are sent to processing plants where the best parts of the chicken, like the breasts, tenderloins, and rib meat, are selected. These parts are chosen because they are tender, flavorful, and nutritious. At the processing plant, machines help with the deboning process, making it precise and efficient. Workers carefully remove the drumsticks, wings, thighs, and skin, focusing on the prime breast meat and tenderloins. The skin, though removed at first, is later added back in small amounts to enhance the flavor and juiciness of the nuggets. The remaining parts of the chicken are used in other products to reduce waste. After the best cuts of chicken are selected, they are ground into a coarse mixture. This texture is important for giving McNuggets their meaty bite. The ground chicken is then mixed with a blend of seasonings, spices, and a portion of chicken skin to add flavor and moisture. Ingredients like water, flour, starches, and natural flavorings like rosemary extract, which acts as a preservative, are added to the mixture. This blend ensures that each nugget is tasty and has the right texture. This step is closely watched to make sure every batch is the same, which is important for making sure every McNugget tastes just right, no matter where it's served. McDonald's Chicken McNuggets are known for their distinct shapes: the ball, the bell, the boot, and the bow tie. These shapes aren't just for fun. They help the nuggets cook evenly. The chicken mixture is put into a shaping machine where it's flattened and cut into the familiar nugget shapes. These shapes are made using molds that ensure each nugget is the same size and shape, which is important for consistent cooking. After the nuggets are shaped, they move on to getting their famous crispy coating. This is where the nuggets get dipped and coated to create that crunchy outside we all love. The nuggets are first dipped in a thin batter that helps the breading stick. Then, they go through a machine that evenly covers them in the breading. The breading mix is made from wheat flour, corn flour, starches, and some other ingredients that give the nuggets their unique texture. Next, the nuggets get coated with a thicker tempura batter. This layer is what makes them extra crispy when they're cooked. The tempura batter is made from a mix of flour, corn flour, and other ingredients that ensure each nugget has the right crunch. Once the nuggets are fully coated, they move on to the par frying. This step partially cooks the nuggets in hot oil for just a few seconds. The quick fry helps set the batter and starts the crisping process, but the chicken inside is still raw at this stage. Par frying is important because it helps the nuggets hold their shape and keeps the coating from falling off. It also locks in the flavor and moisture so the nuggets stay juicy. After par frying, the nuggets are taken out of the oil and cooled down on a conveyor belt. After the nuggets have been par fried, they go through quick freezing. This step is crucial to keep the nuggets fresh and lock in their flavor. The nuggets are placed in a freezing chamber set to about minus 18 degrees Celsius, which helps them freeze quickly and evenly. Quick freezing helps the nuggets texture and taste just right, even after they've been stored and transported. Once frozen, the nuggets are solid and ready to be packaged. The nuggets are carefully placed into bags and boxes to make sure they stay fresh and don't get damaged. The packaging process is fast, with thousands of nugget bags packed in just a few minutes. The packaging is designed to protect the nuggets as they travel to McDonald's restaurants. The boxes of nuggets are loaded onto refrigerated trucks that keep them frozen during transport. This ensures that the nuggets stay fresh and are ready for final cooking when they arrive at McDonald's. Transporting millions of nuggets every day is a big job, but McDonald's has perfected the process to make sure every nugget reaches you in perfect condition. The final step in the McNugget journey happens at McDonald's restaurants. When the frozen nuggets arrive, they are stored in freezers until needed. When you place your order, the nuggets are thawed and then fried. The nuggets are fried at around 180 degrees Celsius, 356 degrees Fahrenheit for about 3 minutes. This gives them their crispy golden brown outside and keeps the inside tender and juicy. The oil used for frying is a mix of canola, corn, and soybean oils.
which help make the nuggets crispy. After frying, the nuggets are kept warm until they're ready to be served. This final cooking step makes sure every McNugget you get is hot, crispy, and delicious. Once they're ready, the nuggets are boxed up with your favorite dipping sauce and handed to you crispy, tasty, and ready to enjoy. If you liked learning about how McNuggets are made, don't forget to click on the next video for more cool insights into how your favorite products are